I'd be remiss if I failed to acknowledge again the Baltimore PPA. If you join me in giving them a round of applause. My dear wife, Rev Witherspoon, I got to go home to the hotel, so I definitely want to acknowledge her, my partner in the struggle. My dear sister, my friend, my colleague, and when I think about how much she means to me, my friend Sharon Black. And to all the members of the PPA and all the folk doing great work around the country, thank you for this opportunity. Rosika and Sister Rebecca, we can't thank you enough for giving our voice an opportunity to be heard. And when I say our voice, I recognize it's not just a voice coming from Baltimore. It's a voice coming from every major city across this country where people are right to resist police terror, where they are right to resist police repression, they are right to resist racism, they are right to resist discrimination. I'm a believer, so I believe that because we are right, that God is with us. We're on the right side of history. And brothers and sisters, something happened a couple of days ago in Washington. And I think it means something what happened in Washington. You know, we had a bigot elected president of the United States. We had a sexist elected president of the United States. We had a right-wing racist elected president of the United States. And we are right to be in the street in every city across this nation protesting and raising hell. And if we are not in the street, then our heart is not working. If we are not in the streets, then our pulse is not working. If we are not in the streets, something is wrong with our minds. Family, we've got some difficult days ahead. We've got some difficult days ahead, not because Donald Trump is a Republican, because somebody knows that the alternative wasn't all that better. But because we're dealing with a bigot, we're dealing with someone who says that people unborn in this country should be deported the next day after he's sworn into office. We're dealing with someone who doesn't have a respect and a reverence for women in this country. We are dealing with someone who needs to check his own humanity at the door. And so, family, he's preparing to be inaugurated on January the 20th. And we've got to come to Washington, D.C. in swarms. If you got to crawl to Washington, D.C., you need to be there. If you got to catch a ride to Washington, D.C., you need to be there. If you got to hitchhike, be there. If you got to catch a bus, be there. Because we've got to send a message. We've got to send a message like my father in the ministry taught me. He said, we either going to stand up winning or we're going to go down fighting. We're going to stand up for working families. We're going to stand up for poor people. We're going to stand up for our seniors. We're going to stand up for our students. And we are going to fight the good fight of the faith. And we're going to do it until justice rolls down like waters and righteousness like a mighty stream. And see, there's a lot of talk about making America great again. There's a lot of talk about patriots. But see, what they don't recognize is people like us who are here in this room today, who are dedicated and committed to breaking the back of Jim Crow, who are the true patriots, because the integrity of this nation is on trial. Family, when we had an opportunity to go through the cities and to knock on doors and to talk to people who had their electricity shut off, talk to people who didn't have food to eat, talked to people who didn't have any health care. And then we talked about a city council president that voted against a $15 living wage. We talked about a city council president who gave corporate welfare to a billionaire when he wouldn't give working families a $15 living wage. My friend had the heart to run against that person. But she had the heart to run against him because it was the right thing to do. And in the days and weeks ahead, we're going to have to search our own hearts, our minds. We're going to have to search our moral compasses, because some of us are going to have to lay down our bodies down on the line in civil disobedience to protest this cruel abuse that took place on Election Day. There was some liberal talk about a consent decree in Baltimore in relationship to the police terror that took place, and there are liberal talks about consent decrees all over this country in relationship to police terror. I want to let you know today that the Department of Justice didn't do a damn thing before today, and they sure aren't going to do a damn thing later. When you look at the U.S. Supreme Court, we ain't got no help coming from Washington. There's not going to be a life preserver sent from Washington. A ladder's not coming down from Washington. Ain't no help or relief coming from Washington. All we got is us. But the good thing is we are all we need. In Baltimore, we say we all we got, but we all we need. So family, I'm not going to be before you long. But I'm going to say to you that we've got to be ready to fight. And we are right to be ready to fight. We are right to protest. We are right to uprise. We are right to raise hell. Because all we've got to do is to lose our children. All we've got to lose is to lose our citizenship rights. All this nation has to lose is its integrity. So I'm excited to be a comrade in Workers' World Party, and I appreciate the opportunity to come tonight, because each of us could be anywhere. But what I think is happening is we are taking a revolutionary stance to be free. We are taking a revolutionary stance to be. We are taking a revolutionary stance to stand up for justice. Because see, this thing ain't easy. Because those of us who are here this year, if we're serious about it, that some of us may not be here next year. Some of us may have to pay the ultimate price for the sake of standing up for freedom, justice, and equality. But if we want to live in our sons in a city and in a nation where our sons and daughters will be free, and we want to live in a nation where our sons and daughters won't be hunted down like dogs by the police, then somebody's going to have to take a stand. Somebody's going to have to lay down on the altar of mortality. I've got a 7-year-old son, and there's a gospel song that says, "If I perish, let me perish. I'm going to see the King." Thanks so much, and God bless you.